If you believe that paranormal events deserve to be explored and shared, then the audio stories of the paranormal is the show for you. New episodes are released weekly on Sundays. Some stories are true, some stories are fiction. You decide which is which. Join us. You will enjoy it. Okay, let's learn something. A man took a room in a large hotel in Las Vegas. In the bathroom, he turned on the shower. The steam coming off the hot water fogged up his bathroom mirror. Before he stepped into his shower, he wrote a simple question on the mirror. When he stepped out of the shower, he found an unexpected reply on the mirror next to his question. He asked, "Is this room haunted?" The answer, yes. Welcome to Audio Stories of the Paranormal. You can find us at theaudiostories.com. I'm J.B. Simeon. Thank you for joining us for 3-member stories of ghosts in the bathroom. I think you will enjoy it. Our first story is called The Lady in the Bathroom from community member Kim W. Okay, let's learn something. In 2012, my 3-year-old son and I moved into a very old rental house. We were just happy to have an affordable place to live after being homeless for all of his life. The landlord was allowing us to live in the house without a lease because it needed a lot of upgrades. Also, the house was difficult to rent. The inside of the house was clean but very dark. It needed more windows. It was always cold inside. I had to wear a long-sleeve light jacket and long pants, and it was summer. We had settled in for a day when my sister came for a visit. I could tell that she was not happy with the new house. We were talking. Then she looks down the hallway, and her eyes got big. She clearly saw something that frightened her. She said, "I think I just saw an old woman go into your bathroom." We both checked it out, but it was empty. She said, "Never mind, I must be seeing things." But she never came back to a house for another visit. After a few days, I was bathing my son. He said he didn't like the house because the old lady frightened him. I wondered if this was his way of telling me that I had offended him, so I asked, "Do you mean Mommy?" "No, the old lady," he said. I thought about what my sister had said and about the old lady going into the bathroom. Still, I didn't know what to make of it. After that, I noticed strange things happening. Things went missing and would be found later in the bathtub. The water in the bathroom would turn on by itself. Sometimes the bathroom door would be locked from the other side. And most disturbing, my son would not use the bathroom without me standing watch. We stayed in that house for 3 long months. Then my sister and I got a place together. I never saw the old woman, but I have no doubt that my son and my sister did. The landlord is still a friend of mine. Years later, he told me that an older woman had committed suicide in that house in the tub in 2010. This is The Door Was Locked from community member Wendy H. Last month, I visited my lifelong friend Jamie at her rented vacation house in Maine. The house is a 200-year-old salt box that was remodeled a few months ago. It looks like an old house on the outside, but it's very modern inside. She was hosting several other people that I didn't know well. We all came out to the vacation house to workshop a new textbook. We're each contributing a chapter to the book. On the morning of the second day, I woke up at 6 a.m. I went down the hall to use the bathroom. There were only 2 in the house. The other one was in the master bedroom. I knocked on the door. There was no answer. So I turned the handle to enter, but the door was locked. Listening at the door, I heard water running. It seemed that one of the other guests was using the facilities. So I waited a few minutes hoping that whomever was in there would come out. After a few minutes, I knocked on the bathroom door to make whomever was in there aware that I was waiting. After 5 more minutes, I knocked louder on the door to ask them to hurry up. I needed to pee badly. I just stepped back from knocking on the door when it aggressively opened and slammed into the wall. It barely missed hitting me in the face. I thought I was going to have to fight whomever was coming out. However, the open door revealed that no one was inside the bathroom. Still, the water was running in the sink, and it turned itself off. The bathroom lights shut themselves off, and the toilet flushed itself. The bathroom door closed on its own. I heard footsteps walk past me and go down the stairs. I didn't use that bathroom. I went to the master bedroom and I woke up Jamie and her girlfriend. I used their bathroom. I was still shaking when I explained to them what had just happened. They humored me, but I could tell that they didn't believe it. I departed a few hours later. In a few days, I learned from Jamie that something paranormal happened to other guests. This time, 2 people witnessed it. Jamie had rented that house for 7 days. Everybody departed after 3 days. For a month, I've been puzzled. If ghosts exist, and they're dead, why do they need to use the bathroom? Aoi Manto. In Japan, there's an urban legend about a bathroom ghost named Aoi Manto. He's a male ghost who waits in the last stall of the girls' bathroom. Anyone entering the bathroom alone hears a voice asking, "Which do you prefer, the red paper or the blue paper?" If they pick the red paper, he kills them by slashing their back repeatedly with a blade in order to make the victim appear to be wearing a red cape. If the victim chooses the blue paper, they're killed by hanging. We have a short commercial break here. Then the audio stories of the paranormal will continue. This is our final story. It's called Sleepover in a Haunted B&B by community member Angie T. I spent my vacation last summer driving the old Highway 66, better known as Route 66. I love to stay at bed and breakfast homes when I travel. I find that they add to the adventure. On the stretch of the old highway in New Mexico, I stayed at a haunted B&B all alone. The innkeeper assured me that the house was not really haunted. We just advertised it as haunted because it brings in the guest. Her husband rolled his eyes and said, "No, it's haunted. She just refuses to acknowledge the ghost." "If you're afraid of ghosts, don't stay here tonight," he said. His wife said, "Well, I've never seen anything." Her husband said, "But you've heard plenty." Now, that's quite a trick, I thought. No matter what happens, they have told me the truth. It's haunted or it's not haunted. I received my electronic key, and the husband showed me to my room on the first floor. The room was very nice. It was modern with its own bathroom and a large screen TV. The Wi-Fi had a strong signal. The husband told me, "Tonight you will be in the house by yourself. We are closing in a few minutes, and so far there is no other guest. If you need us, just pick up your room phone and dial 3 zeros. We live out back in the old carriage house." Before he departed, I asked him to fill me in on why he believed that the house was haunted. He told me that in the 1950s, the house was a boarding house for old age pensioners. The pensioners would turn over their checks to the owner, and in return they got a clean and a safe place to stay. Also, they got a room to themselves and 3 meals a day. The place functions more like a extended family than a old folks' home, he said. As the older folks do, people die of natural causes in the house. If they had no family, instead of reporting the pensioner's death, the manager buried the body on the grounds and kept collecting the Social Security check and other pension checks. At first, they used the money to improve the quality of life for the residents. Then, at some point, it became about getting rich. At that point, they no longer waited for the pensioners to die. They began killing them quietly. Not all of them, just the ones with no family. In time, they only took in pensioners who had no family. They eventually made a mistake and they got caught. The state police exhumed more than 30 bodies from the ground surrounding the house. Most were believed to have been murdered in the house, then buried. I asked him, was anyone killed in this room? More than likely, he said. He gave me another chance to check out. I passed on it. Then he reminded me how to contact him if I needed help, and he departed my room. After hearing that story, I was a little on edge, so I dug out my laptop and phone and got online to talk to some friends on Facebook. It didn't take long to turn up the story online. It was much worse than the husband indicated. Some of my friends on Facebook thought I should leave. Other friends thought that nothing would happen since ghosts don't exist. After a few hours of nothing happening, I showered and got ready for bed. In the shower, I had the feeling of being watched. I attributed it to my nerves and knowledge of the house history. I hopped into bed and got back online with my friends. It was around 11:30 when I heard someone walking in the bathroom. I had closed the door and turned off the light after I had finished showering. Now the light was back on. I observed a shadow had fallen across the gap between the bottom of the door and the floor. Someone was in the bathroom. I was thinking more about a rapist than a ghost. The bathroom had no outside window, yet there was someone in there. When I travel, I take my 9mm Beretta pistol with me. I grabbed it from my purse and I aimed it toward the door. I had my finger on the trigger and the safety off. I was going to shoot whoever came out of that bathroom. I also called the owners. The wife answered. I told her someone was in my bathroom. About 5 minutes later, she and her husband were knocking on my room door. We checked the bathroom, but no one was inside. The husband asked me again if I wanted to check out. I decided to stay. He told me to expect more noises. I got back in bed and back on Facebook. I told my friends about the bathroom incident and uploaded pictures of the bathroom and the rest of the room. Later, I was awakened by a loud noise made by something heavy dropping on the upstairs floor above my head. Apparently, I had drifted into sleep. Then it happened again and again. I checked my phone for the time. It was a few minutes after 1 a.m. I stayed in bed. I held the gun next to me. I posted a message on Facebook about the noise. My friends had signed off by that time. Then, minutes later, I heard someone running down the wooden stairs and stop outside my door. I held my breath and aimed up the pistol at the door. I waited like that for what seems like a half hour. Then I heard the steps run back up the stairs. I was relieved. Then from upstairs I heard doors slamming and more running. The entire time I was hyper aware and kept my finger on the trigger ready to shoot. I had to pee badly, but I was too frightened to get out of bed. It was a good 2 hours before things settled down. Then I used the restroom and I got back in bed. For hours I just listened. It was quiet. However, I was expecting at any moment the activity would start again. Around 10 a.m., I was awakened by a knock at my room door. It was the innkeeper, the wife. She reminded me of the 11 a.m. checkout. At the front desk, I recounted my night to the innkeepers. They had a book in which other guests had recounted their adventures, so I added my experience. Then I got on the road. Since that time, people have suggested to me that it was the innkeepers making the noise to ensure that I had a full ghostly experience. Some of it could have been them. Still, there was something in that bathroom, unless there was a secret passage that I didn't know about. I don't think it was them. Well, all right, you paranormals. This concludes our episode. Thank you to all the community members who shared their stories. If you would like to comment on the stories in this episode, or if you have a paranormal experience that you'd like to share with the community, please email me at feedback@theaudiostories.com. You can also submit your story through the audiostories.com submission form on the homepage. Next, if you enjoy these stories, please help the community grow by sharing them with your family and friends. How, you asked? It's easy. Just visit the audiostories.com, locate the story that you want to hear, and press play. Finally, when you're on the homepage, you will also find links to the merchandise store where you can purchase cool swag and help us continue to produce this show. Thank you. You are our main source of support. This concludes the show. Thank you again for listening to the Audio Stories of the Paranormal. I'm J.B. Simeon. I'll see you next week with a new episode. Until then, be aware, be cautious, and take care.